Welcome back to The Unscripted Show. I am your host, Mahir Murad, and today we have two very special guests,
Kat
and
Alex,
who is also the producer/director. So, the point of this show is Kat and Alex have a film coming out in Avalon on December 8th, completely made, produced, directed, written, scripted, all scheduled, casting, all by them. And they're juniors in high school.
Yes, we are.
Mostly Alex.
Mostly
I gotta
Alex.
clear that up.
No, I'm sorry. Kat wrote and acted in this whole film. So basically anything creative came from Kat.
So Kat's the creator. So the reason the movie's a thing is Kat.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what? No.
Yes, definitely.
So
I would definitely agree with that.
So
I would not.
Just some background to the people who don't know. Let's start off with you, Kat, and then you, Alex. So what are some of the things you've done in this industry before?
Not much, honestly. I mean, no. I acted in the first film that Alex did, The Vigilantes. But I didn't do any writing for that or anything.
But also, Kat has acted in every single award-winning short film we've ever made.
Dang.
Kat had starred in. She was the lead in all of those. And also, she won't tell you this, but she has literally written novels before.
What? You're an author? Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say novels? Wow.
Novel and a half.
Novel and a half.
That's novels. That's novels. My God. Tell me about that. What made you decide that I want to write a novel?
My 8th grade lit teacher, he was like, we started a writing club just because we were bored, me and my friends. And I don't know, I just really liked it. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you've acted in short films, you've acted in feature-length films, you've co-written a film, and you've written novels. And she started off with not much. What a flex for her.
I just want to point that out because it was very modest.
It was very modest.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
This is a big ego boost. I can't handle this.
And then Alex, what have you done in this industry?
Oh, okay. Well, this is my 5th film I've made.
Okay, one second. I'm sorry. Did you say 5th film?
Yes, 5th.
How old are you?
I am 17.
I watched 5 films in a year. You've made 5 films at the age of 17.
I mean, okay, so this is my second, feature-length full. So
explain what a feature-length film is.
So, technically this is my 4th feature-length film because feature-length really just means anything over I think it's the standard is 40, 45 minutes essentially that is now, just a normal TV show length. But essentially, when you're going from short film to feature film, that's sort of the dividing line. Okay. I really qualify this as our second official feature film because this is the second film that will be premiering in a movie theater.
Avalon, nonetheless.
Yes, Avalon, for the second time. But also, this film, this film has been, hard work of everyone, right? This isn't just, me, my family, and, a few other people, right? Okay. This has been, tons of really awesome, amazing actors, really great crew, amazing writers, so but this has been work from, a lot of people, right? Not just work specifically from me and my sister and a few family members, right? Okay. So that's really why I say that this is our second feature film, because this has been a second feature film that we've really made as a crew and as a cast, as a family.
So you also have you've done 3 short films and 2.
Yeah, I've done a lot of short films, some video
and award-winning nonetheless.
Yes, I've done a few. Kat has been in all of the award-winning ones.
So I think you found your recipe. I think there's definitely something here.
Yeah.
But you also have a production company.
Yes, we actually just became official this year, Redway Productions LLC, and we are an official production company. We make commercials and things for smaller clients.
Word on the street is you guys are also producing a podcast or something.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
It's crazy. Wow, it's actually crazy, dude.
It's kind of nuts.
Dude,
yeah.
Plug myself.
Plug myself.
Everybody here is talking about what they've done. I'm like, I've talked on a show.
I know, right? That's it. Although technically that's a plug for me too, because I work on the show.
So Alex, on this table, if anybody's plugged, Alex is everything you've done,
double plug.
I produced. It's it's a pyramid. I'm at the top.
Yeah.
but no, Alex has humility. Not once have I ever been Alex has ever been yeah, I've produced 5 films, suck it. He's always respectful. He always will just like Kat just did. He'll always be humble about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly because, I understand the quality of my work, that every time I make something, it gets better, right? So I never want to brag about stuff I've done because I know that it doesn't compare to stuff I do now, right? And so, I mean, that's sort of just something as an artist, something as a filmmaker. I think any creative can really relate to that because, you grow. Every time you make something, you grow, you learn. It's all experience. And so that's why I never consider any of my past films a failure. But I'll never brag about, these accomplishments because, it just helped me to get, closer to where I am now. Wow.
So you once told me, I asked you a long time ago, I was like, yo, why did you do movies? Why did you pick this?
Yes.
And could you please repeat what you told me?
I said, I mean, the real reason is because I knew I had stories to tell, and I chose film because film, in my opinion, based on the stories I wanted to tell, was the best way to get that out, right? If it were a different way, if it were writing novels, if it were, doing video games or doing, any of these other forms of expression, I would genuinely do that, right? Because all I care about really is the best way to tell the story, right? And in my scenario with my stories, the best way to tell that story is through film. And so that's why I lean so heavily into that, and why I, really am, I would qualify myself as a filmmaker, but, overall, it's just what is the best way to tell the story. And I think that is, in my case, through film.
What about you, Kat? Is there any reason why you chose to become an actress of sorts, or a novelist, or a writer?
I mean, the writing thing was the writing club, honestly. Before that, I wasn't really interested. I mean, I liked that kind of thing, but I didn't ever try to go further with it. And then the acting was just because in 6th grade there was a musical at our middle school, and I was like, hey, that might be fun. And it was The Sound of Music, and I got Gretel, and it was super fun. And then I wanted to keep doing that kind of thing. And
to some extent, debate would also. You also have to go on a thing. You have to perform. You have to persuade.
Yeah, no, that.
So, I mean, that also fits your boat,
The whole improv thing kind of helped with that. Yeah.
Dave pulls up to a tournament, first day, wins first place. Light flex for Kat. Light flex.
Yeah. And I think, Kat says she'll tell us, she's like, well, I got my, acting start with you guys. I'm like, no, we got our filmmaking start with you, Kat. Our first, actual films were with you, all of them, And so basically with this film, I think it's just it's a two-way street, right? For everyone who works on it, because it helps, their work helps me do my job better. And I hope that, one day, I can help them in a way, or this just experience, right, helps them in whatever, wherever career they go, whatever path they end up choosing. But really, at the end of the day, it requires things from multiple people, right? It requires that effort, that, hard work from everyone in order to just make this happen. I think that's a lot of things, or I think that's something that, people can tend to overlook, especially with movies, right? Because you go see a movie, it's 2 hours long, and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. But, that 2 hours that you just, watched, that you just paid $7 for, that was, accumulation of multiple years of hard work by hundreds, if not thousands of dedicated people.
So I actually want to talk about that. The level of entertainment we have reached in society. In 2019,
yes,
a normal film costs $500 million to produce for 2 hours of your entertainment.
That's true.
That's what we've reached as a society, right? Just take that in, right? Because 100 years ago,
that was our budget too.
Yeah.
Oh, $500 million.
Yes.
No, $500 million.
$500 million.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So just go into it with high expectations, because that was our budget.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I will. So if there's any bad shot, if I don't see
no, you
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, you won't see any bad shot, and you will see Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, I just gave it away.
Spoiler alert. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. That's my bad.
But that is and I think it's interesting how we've reached that level as a society. But 100 years ago, it was completely different. What would you do to entertain yourself?
Well, okay, so I think a lot of that, specifically right now, we're in a great economy, right? So you can afford to spend $500 million because you're going to make $1 billion, right? That's $500 million profit alone, And so that just speaks to a lot of things. But look at, the industry has changed so much, right? You have, all of these theater, films that you want, these giant studios that you once saw, they're converting to streaming services. The best, example of this is Disney Plus, right? Yeah. They understand that they can't turn as big a profit in the theater. And so they literally made a streaming service to account for all the, time and money that Netflix has taken away from them.
So I actually want to go into that.
Yeah.
What are y'all's thoughts? Because obviously you've written, you've produced, and that's the next big thing. There's no like going back from streaming services, right?
It's true. And I mean, like, take the example, Joker, right?
Yeah.
That was a, shocking thing that happened, that, a $55 million budget was able to raise almost $1 billion in the theater, right? So in box office alone. And but the whole point, like the whole reason that worked was because it was so controversial that made it so successful, right? People wanted to go out and see it because it was this, huge thing of controversy, because it was these, touching on these topics that couldn't have been touched on before, right?
We will have to explain to our children why we needed guns in a cinema to protect us from watching the film.
It's true.
That's something we're gonna have to explain.
I have no idea what either of you are talking about right now.
Oh no, have you not seen the Joker?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so when I walked into Avalon to watch the Joker, and there was literally like 4 guards at least with their guns standing there, because that was the level of that movie.
Okay, well, I went to Aurora and I got in for like nothing.
Okay, but yeah.
They're like, go ahead, whatever.
Like, yeah, sure, why not?
Wait, what? Why is this so controversial?
Because last time the Joker, a movie with the Joker came out, there was a shooting.
Oh, no, I knew that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but we have to explain that to our kids that, yeah, dude, we needed guns in cinema to protect us from a movie.
It's true. Yeah. But I mean, the reason that film, was able to do so well in a time where films in the box office aren't doing well,
fall season,
was because it was so controversial, right? And so
marketing.
Like normal movies, you won't see those turning out big in the theater anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like you see a whole lot of movies that look good, right? But how many are you actually going to see, right?
What did it take for Endgame? It took 23 films to build up Endgame.
Up to it. Yeah.
If they had just dropped Endgame without that build up, it wouldn't have made billions of
and
dollars.
I mean, a lot of it, yes, was the build up, it was the reputation, it was the whole fact of that you're going to see a quality movie there, but like other films, standalone films, you don't know. So it's a gamble, right?
I want to go into more of the streaming services.
Yes.
So what, like Hulu, Netflix, YouTube TV is not streaming, but again, it's not like mainstream. It's new. Disney Plus. What else? Am I missing anything? I know I'm missing something.
No, I'm just excited about Disney Plus. So.
Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yeah, because you get it like free for a year with Verizon.
I didn't know that, and I bought it, and I'm like so mad.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Do you have Verizon?
Yes, I have Verizon.
Oh, Alex!
I know.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I mean, but like, so, and they're great. That is like that's what, like, where we're headed with, films and entertainment. But the whole point of a streaming service is to eliminate, sort of this idea of like cable, right? Where or paid subscriptions or going out to the movies, right? You have all your content in one place and you can watch it anytime you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, right? But now you have to pay for multiple streaming services because your favorite shows are on like 5 different platforms, right? So the market has become so saturated that if you like, essentially you can't just have Netflix, right? Because, you want to watch, any Disney movie, now you got to get Disney Plus, right? Okay. And so,
I'm going to say the other side. I'm going to say I like it. So they're called streaming wars right now. Okay, that's the current name they're giving them. Yeah. They're all competing, right? Yeah. Like Disney Plus dropped, Netflix like made a deal with Nickelodeon, and there's all these things happening. But so I'm like, this streaming wars, I think it's good for us because we, the consumers, benefit to some extent. Where now,
but do we? That's the question.
So that is the question. Where now you have to like pay for both, but we have the choice of so much more content.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Kat is like dying right now.
Ironically, I'm so not a movie person.
No, it's true though. No, I remember because like you're it's weird. She's an amazing actress, but she's a book person. Like, I mean, well, I guess that makes sense because you're a writer, but like
movies are so hard to get there.
I know.
Like,
but see, I feel the same now. Like, I genuinely, and I think it's because of the new era of like TV and like binging and everything. But like, I'll sit through a movie, I'm like, okay. Like, how much longer?
Do you ever find yourself like correcting in your head, like, I would do this differently?
Well, so this is actually my philosophy. If the story is so interesting, or if the story is genuinely interesting to me, then I do not correct because I'm so like engrossed in the plot that I don't see the mistakes or the things I do differently, right? But if it's a dud, then I will see every single shot I don't like and say, oh yeah, that's something I would change, or that's something I do differently. Yeah. And that's how I can tell which films I really like and which films I don't, right? Is if I walk out of the theater saying, oh yeah, they did this right, then I know I wasn't focused on the story as much, and and so the story wasn't interesting to me, right? So yeah,
I do that with books too.
Yeah.
Like,
really?
Yeah, and I'll be reading and be like, I would phrase that differently, but only if it's like I don't like the book.
This might be a bit off topic, and do you take AP this year?
I don't.
Did you take World History? Both of you AP World History?
Yes.
This might be a bit off track, but God, the grammar in the AMSCO books is so
It's
bad.
awful. Oh my
I'm
God,
sorry.
I hated reading it.
I could have the same content half the time.
Yeah.
Because there's so much filler. There's so much. So many comma splices,
God,
sentence
yes.
fragments. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. Who killed who? I don't know who the subject is. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just never did the reading.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's like the same as doing the reading. You don't get the information. You're like guessing who killed
Still
who.
did fine. Okay, it's fine.
There you go.
But okay, going back. So I also do want to focus on A Simple Truth, which is coming out December 8th in Avalon. Buy tickets right now, $5.
Yes,
Okay.
Working title.
So,
actually, no, yeah, that was
is
true.
it actually a working title?
No,
No.
not anymore, but
But for a long time, okay, this is like our whole entire writing process. We couldn't figure out a title for this movie for the longest time.
What?
And I came up with some really stupid ideas. I mean, like, Kat can tell you. They were so dumb.
What was like the top worst,
Okay,
top 3 worst
I
ones?
think the worst one was Daydream.
that one sucked.
Okay, so like, all right, A Simple Truth is already pretty vague. Like, you got to kind of work
So
to
why
figure
don't you
it
tell
out.
us what it's going to be about?
Okay, so
not daydreams.
Not daydreams.
I can tell you
Like a
that.
verbal trailer of sorts?
Well, okay, so basically, first, our titles, it took a long time because the story is very complex. Like it is, kind of a journey just through like high school life, but with the caveat, it has a very like optimistic theme, I guess. It's sort of like a theme that we want to convey to people, in all like in society, right? Not just in high school, not just,
So like an emotional diary of the Wimpy Kid. I'm just joking.
That's the one. It's perfect.
That's it. That's exactly it. But no, so our main theme is just focusing on like trying to encourage empathy and trying to sort of just remind everyone that, we're all human. We all we all make mistakes. We all have things that, we've done that, aren't good, aren't right. But, in the end of it, that doesn't mean that defines us, right? We can all, move past things, we can all, sort of learn to be more empathetic, compassionate towards others. And, we were discussing it when we were writing, and writing was a long process.
Yes.
Okay, I will say that was definitely
So from idea to production, what's that story between both of you?
He had the idea, and like
so
And
that's
let's
the thing.
timeline this. Let's put it. So right now it's November.
This is like last December.
Okay, so we're halfway through November.
We start last December, and I had an idea, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do all these things, and I went to Kat because I was like, I'm not gonna write this effectively because with the Vigilantes it was fine, but like the writing was could have been so much better, and obviously like I want to get better as I make more films, and part of that is just knowing where your weak areas are, right? And so not to say I knew like, oh, I'm a terrible writer, but I'm saying like, one, I knew the script and the story as a whole could be stronger if I got someone who was better at writing. So Kat.
Thanks.
Yeah. But like, just literally the process of talking about it helps so much because the original idea, looking back on it, the original idea was nothing how the film turned out.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all. And now literally all of those changes came from simply like the script writing process, like, or even before then, like the brainstorming process. I gave her an outline, before we even started scripting. I said, here's our idea laid out on paper, after we kind of brainstormed it for a while. And I was like, here it is. Like, this is what I think we're looking at. And then she was like, great. She wrote it. And as soon as she wrote it, it was perfect for the outline. And I realized, wow, the outline has some major flaws in here, and we need to regroup here. And so like we had these discussions, and she was like, oh, we both had ideas, and we both had things that we were like, okay, yeah, we definitely.
So when
need
you
to
would disagree,
review
what
this.
would happen?
Okay,
Well,
there's one.
Okay, yeah, one time it was. Okay, so we didn't
What's
disagree.
that one time?
We didn't disagree too much because we had been kind of there since the start. We both knew what we were doing, right?
Okay.
We both knew the story, and we were both like there for it. Like it wasn't one person knew it more because we were both so heavily involved. But there was one time where we did disagree, and I'd say
Y'all throw hands.
almost.
Okay. Well, yeah, honestly.
No,
'Cause,
I mean.
I had already written the scene, like,
Yes.
that we were disagreeing about.
Okay.
And then we had, like, a little meeting to, like, discuss how the script was going and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And he had rewritten it, I think, like the night before.
So what happened? Yeah. So literally, she wrote the scene, and I, in my head, I was thinking, because and this was my fault because I didn't communicate this well enough. Because before, me and Kat, before I even, reached out to Kat saying, hey, do you want to do this? I was talking with some other crew that did the Vigilantes. And I had the idea of, you know what, we need to do, like we had some like sort of main ideas that we wanted to do. And so I guess, I definitely didn't communicate that well enough to Kat, because when she wrote the scene, and this is the climax of the film.
I didn't get the whole suspense aspect that he was going for.
And so the scene was great, but it cut out the suspense part, right? And so we really just kind of focused on the drama, which would have been fine. But I really wanted to selfishly shoot a suspense scene. So I was like, you know what, like I'm just going to go ahead right here, insert this, really long suspense scene, right? And so I came at it the next day and I was like, so Kat, I made some changes. And she was like, yeah, I saw. And,
No. Okay. For the record, I wasn't like, you made changes to what I wrote. It was perfect.
No, it wasn't like that. It was literally like, and okay, so the funniest part about this was that she was 100% right. But I just did not I was just so like, what are you talking about?
Like 2 hours.
For an hour. And the thing was, we were saying basically the same thing. Like we were both on the same page subconsciously,
but we not verbally at all.
And I will say a lot of that was my fault because I just genuinely didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what she was talking about, right? Like
there was like an issue with like an implication in the scene, which was the only thing, and
then as soon as I realized like that the only thing that needed to happen here was this one change. We compromised, but it was also, it didn't feel like a compromise because it felt like, we both were kind of like, oh yeah, that's
it
obviously,
like it just made sense.
That's obviously what needed to happen.
Yeah.
And, going at it from the whole perspective of like, we were saying the same thing, right? We were saying the exact same thing. We just didn't understand it. And so
it happens a lot to people.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like, I feel like things would have ended a lot differently if we hadn't worked before and we weren't, we didn't, already know each other pretty well. Like, so obviously that was a huge factor in like, why things, kept going. But that was sort of like from there, things just like went so smoothly. And, after that we had so many moments during filming and during, literally every single aspect of production that, we had moments like that, right? Because it's long and it's hard to make a feature film. And like, it can be very, you're working towards this goal that is literally a year away, right? And so you can't see the immediate value of a lot of things that you're doing. And we didn't get paid for this, right? So like everyone.
So that is another thing.
Yeah.
So this is for more of the people who like have these goals, these big aspirations they want to follow. Mm-hmm. The story of like, I know your story personally where you started off filming for other people and then you got that money, made more cameras, started your own shoot. And this progression you've had of following your dreams is something that a lot of people want to do, but they're like scared to do it. They're lazy to do it. And it's really just like go after it, just like chase it, hunt it down, follow your, like the thing you want to do, just do it.
Yeah.
And I think, did you procrastinate on your film?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. Okay.
Oh, definitely.
But
I procrastinate to this day.
Not as procrastination, but more of a.
We were talking about the trailer. I was like, Alex, that's the
trailer. Oh yeah, no, like literally, right before
I've texted him like 4 times, like, dude, you need a trailer.
Yeah, literally right before this, like, Kat was like, she's like, oh yeah, like, how's the trailer? I want to see it. I'm like, we're like 3 weeks out from premiere, and I'm like, okay.
I was like, Alex, I need your trailer. He's like, it'll happen soon. I was like,
it's hard to fit an hour of film into what, like minute?
A minute. Yeah. That's hard. And also, I didn't want to do it. Like, I will admit, like, there's a lot of aspects.
Have you finished filming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, actually, we had to reshoot a scene
We did have to reshoot a scene. And that was...
Why?
We had an equipment malfunction. But basically, the thing I love about our crew, our cast especially, is that, we... Like, I just say, hey, guys, we literally completely don't have an entire really important scene that we need. Are you guys available next weekend? And then, like, literally, like, that, like, day, everyone's like, yeah, cool, send me a call sheet. And then, boom, it's, like, done.
I think an important thing in, like, this podcast and, like, the other podcasts we've done is there are people who are bringing the community together to follow a goal, okay? And you've done that. You both have done that. You've gotten a cast. You've gotten a crew. You've gotten an audience. You've got everybody together for the same interest.
Yeah.
And it's really cool how a 17-year-old, how old are you?
Almost 17.
17, almost?
This month.
This month. So basically 17-year-old.
Gosh, right.
How you guys are coming together and building this community of a sort to follow your passion. And I think that's pretty inspiring to a lot of people because it's always hard to start, right? It always is. Like, even after you've done every 4 movies, you probably were like, dude.
I'd have to, yes, it's hard to start, but I think the hardest part is to keep going because, especially for me, I mean, I get so excited about ideas, and I think it's really easy to get excited about an idea, because you think, oh yeah, this is like this is gonna be the best thing ever, right? And then you get to it, and you're like, oh, this is a lot more work than I thought, and this is like hard, this is gonna be, this is gonna take a long time and a lot of my effort. And a lot of people just say, you know what, it's not worth it, I'm just gonna give up. And I think when you don't, that's when something can truly become great, right? And so I never thought of any of our films as being something to inspire people. Like, I genuinely didn't. Like, we made The Vigilantes, and I was like, this is going to be a cool action film because I love action films, and this is what I want to do, right? And then we made A Simple Truth because I was like, you know what? I actually want to say something meaningful with my work, right? We're at that point with our quality where we can, like, do kind of wherever we want with the story. And I said, you know what? I want to do something meaningful with this, convey an actual message, not just have a fun action film. But I never saw it as, something that would inspire others, simply because I never saw it as that mindset, right? I saw it as, it was such a, thing for me, like, that's just my goal, right? And, obviously that's great if, this inspires other people. I would love that.
Which is a big takeaway. It was a normal, like, you don't have anything special about you, right? It's just a normal, like, not
average.
You're a plain, basic human being.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But like the rest of us, right? None of us are special.
Yeah.
But you took what you had and made something out of it, right? And there's obviously a bunch of factors, but that means people who are listening, people who like listen in the future, you can, if you have an idea, go for it. Just try it.
Definitely.
The idea is never going to be like as good as it's going to be, for sure. Because we changed something like so true. The character that I ended up playing, Lily, like at the beginning she was blind, and like that.
So why don't you
that was like a
what
big
The Simple
thing.
Truth is about?
Oh my gosh, you're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So basically, A Simple Truth, you walk through the sort of, you're following a character, the main character's Hope. That's her name, which was also
a potential.
Yeah, that was also a potential title that we were playing around with, and I'm very glad we didn't.
You were playing around, not we.
Kat corrected me on that, so that was good. Everyone thank Kat when you go see this.
So
it's too cheesy.
It was so funny having Daydream.
Oh, it definitely was.
Daydream.
Hope and Daydreams working title.
It's so
perfect.
Bad. But so actually, we kept A Simple Truth working title because we were like, if we can figure out something better, that's fine. But then we were kind of like, we did not. We were too lazy. So even then, there are things that you can't accomplish. You can't accomplish every single thing that you set out to do, right?
Yeah.
But so the actual story of A Simple Truth, I know, sorry, I'm like all over the place. The actual story of A Simple Truth is, it's about this high school girl who goes through, and she kind of, like, she starts out fine, normal high schooler, you kind of get to know her, some of her friends, her boyfriend.
And they then, all suck.
Yes.
Just by the way,
yeah.
All of them.
Sorry, she has a bias from her character. And a writer. She hates all these characters.
It was so hard writing. It's so hard.
So was this intentional, or do you just think that, people in general just suck? What was it?
No, so we
she was supposed to suck.
Yeah, so basically at the beginning of the film, she starts out technically as the antagonist.
Okay.
And that was sort of a, big thing that we wanted. It was, we wanted to convey bullying, but we also wanted to convey, that it's not a done deal, right? We kind of wanted to go against sort of the normal status of, there's a bully, there's a victim, the victim is the hero, the bully is not, that kind of thing, right? Why can't the bully and the hero, or bully and the victim be, both of them be the hero, right? Why can't the bully change? So there's a whole lot of things around that, but basically the story starts off, she is not the best person, but she's, a normal teenager, a normal high schooler. Yes. I think a lot of people will relate to, her life in the beginning. And then, she starts out being very rude and mean and bullying Kat's character, Lily. And essentially, I think the thing that makes this whole instance different is that the response that Lily gives to Hope isn't isn't a self-destructive response, right, where she is the victim and she is hurt and something bad, or she has to overcome that or anything. Her response is she she responds with kindness. She responds with trying to understand. Yeah, sorry, Kat hates that.
So hard to write because like
that.
But see, I know how I would respond to like a lot of things that Hope did, and then I'd have to write it as Lily and be like, how do I do this? And then I got cast as Lily.
And then she got cast as Lily. Which again, that should just prove how amazing of an actress she is, because like she pulls off the character so well.
Dang.
And she did not believe in that character at all. Like I remember there was 3 lines. Actually, this is another thing. There was 3 lines, and this is the only time in the entire movie that I played the director card and said we're including these 3 lines. And she hated them so.
How did that?
I'm such a control freak. So I know. I was like,
but and ironically, her character was the character who had to say all 3 of those lines.
It was awesome. So I was like reading them. I was like, like literally we're at filming. I'm like, do I have to read them right now?
And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
And so, but like basically, you know, her character in the story is supposed to be the thing that isn't normal, right? It's not. It's supposed to be the thing that people can't relate to, because her character is the embodiment of our theme of spreading empathy and compassion to people. And so basically, in the story, she responds to Hope with, you know, trying to be there for her. She understands that, you know, what Hope is going through is rough, like all that kind of stuff. And a lot of that comes from the fact that Lily's life is terrible. I won't give away, you know, too much of what's happening.
So how much, when you're writing this stuff, right, both of you, how much inspiration do you take from people you actually know, stories you've actually heard of actual people?
A lot.
A lot?
Well, I don't know. Like, there's definitely scenes that we literally structured around actual conversations that have happened, and situations. You know the scene I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So
but
when
I'm really trying to think.
When that person whose scene it was, who sees that scene, you think
I don't think there was a specific person, because I think everyone can relate to this. Like, I think everyone can relate to so many of these scenes that, like, you know, and I still, like, I literally made this film in order to kind of warn people about it and like discourage people from, you know, doing some of these things. But then, like, you know, I realized that I do them to this day after have gone through that entire process of making that film. You know, I, you know, find myself like doing a lot of the things that I try to warn people against. And so it's just kind of a thing of, if everyone can be a little bit more empathetic in their life, it would make everyone, you know, happier, right? Because like it just make the world a better place. It doesn't have to be a complete thing of, oh, everyone needs to be Lily. You'll see that not everyone can be Lily.
Oh,
but
God, no, they can't.
not even our actress who played Lily can be Lily. But like, it's just having that little piece of her, right? And so
that's not the whole ending for the work. We're just not spoiling it, so like see it.
There's a big ending, and I almost spoiled it, but I didn't spoil it.
You did though.
Why not? Just go.
You already talked about
right
Leonardo Cup pulling up.
Oh no, he comes in from the beginning. We had a big budget. Yeah, he's there the whole time.
$500 million.
No, like Leonardo. If you think Leonardo's like,
we call him Leo on the set.
Sorry, Leo.
Actually,
my boy Leo. But yeah, no. If you think that's the biggest surprise, please, just wait to see who.
Yeah,
we
you
got.
brought back actors who were dead.
Yes,
brought them back to life.
Did. No, but I mean, honestly, you know, the film is awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. The cast is absolutely amazing. Like, you know, you take people who are just, you know, a lot of them you would not expect to be these really good actors. And then, of course, you know, I've worked with Kat before. I've worked with Kate before. I've worked with a lot of them before. Connor,
Kate, who plays Hope,
and Marcus. Yeah. So a lot of the actors I've worked with before, and, you know, I knew instantly that they're just absolutely amazing. But, you know, some of the new actors that I hadn't worked with before, they just showed me how genuinely awesome they were. But I mean, you know, we've had crazy, like, because over the summer you bond because you're filming like every day, you're filming nights, you're like, it's hard work. But, you know, we've had some times because basically,
much fun though.
Oh, it's so much. Like we had a lot of fun, and you really build a bond with people. Like, I mean, I saw so many people just every single day, and like, you know, people that I wouldn't have seen if we weren't doing this. And so it's such an, you know, interesting thing. And, you know, you really see people learn and grow. Like almost all of my crew, like, literally showed me time and again how dedicated they were, how hard they work, and genuinely like their ability to learn and grow and become better as, you know, filmmakers. So it was a great experience, and I really hope, you know, everyone.
So is there any like takeaways you want to like leave with, or?
It's a good film. You should watch it.
It's a good film. I don't know. Perspective from the actress.
And the writer.
And the writer.
Yeah, not to flex. was just a super fun process all around from writing, because I love to write, so it was it was the first script I've ever written.
What would you leave to the audience? Like, not the film specifically, but I think there's a bigger theme here of both of you just like pursuing what you like. Pursuing your what would you say to that?
That's good. That's a good question.
You're not gonna get anything done if you just don't.
That's true.
It,
Like you have to stick with something. And I think a lot of people quit before it's become gold. Like, and I like that analogy because like a lot of people work really hard and then they quit before it's good, right? And then they can look at other people who've worked and completed and have a great product and see that, oh, you know what? Well, maybe it's just not in the stars for me, or maybe, they're just better than me. That's not the case at all. Like literally, in our case, it wasn't about talent. It wasn't about, obviously everyone here was incredible in all their roles, but that wasn't something that everyone was born with, right? Yeah. Every single person worked for everything you will see on screen and everything that you won't see on screen that went into this production was like literally the product of sheer determination and working hard in order to achieve those results,
So I think your film may be called A Simple Truth because the message is empathy.
Yes.
But I think the simple truth from this podcast today is, like, find something you like and follow it,
Do it. Like, literally do it. Like, don't let anything stop you. Like,
no, just...
Yeah. You can't make something better if it's, like, not there yet.
And exactly. You enjoy it so much more if you like what you're doing,
It's true. And don't be scared. Like, literally, I think so many people are like, well, I can't make a film without this expensive camera. I can't do any... I started making films when I was 11 and I had nothing. I literally recorded... He was on the streets of Chicago, begging. I was in a box. No, like I had nothing, and obviously I lived in a great place. Yeah. But like with experience, with film, with crew, with like I didn't have any of with knowledge. I genuinely didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't let that stop me. Right. My first film was an action film,
which is another big thing.
Terrible to like ever think or do.
I think another big thing we gotta like take away from this is the community. You will find people. Yeah. Like what's that quote? It's like you often meet the people in the same journey in the journey with the same destination. Yeah. You meet them on the same journey. Yeah. I've screwed that quote up so badly. Just like cut it out. Just cut it out.
No, it's all good.
But you meet the people who have the same end goal on the journey. Yeah. And you will find other people who want to do the same things, and they'll all come together, and then you will have a team working through the end.
Yeah, with creative stuff, you have to have a team. Yeah. Like a lot of it's not.
But you will find
them. Kind of thing.
You will find them, and you will like meet, and you will like come together. So there are other people around you who have the same passion that you may not know. Like how would you know that Kat was a writer unless you like went on this journey and figured out that she likes writing, and we actually have something similar. You got to like start.
It's true. I mean, like. I don't think I think I knew she was a writer before I knew she was an actress, but I mean, even then, I think it literally came from either me or her or someone just talking to someone else and saying, hey, do you want to maybe be in a short film? Yeah. And then she said yes, or, I like said yes, whoever, initiated that. But, as soon as that happened, like, I've worked with Kat for so many films, and I will continue to work with Kat for as long as she will work with me.
I'm in.
But I feel that same way.
My career is safe, guys. I've been signed to all the films.
I'm glad I didn't use this podcast to like fire me. Like,
you know what that means, right? You know what that means is if he becomes like a big producer one day, you have proof that you're on for every film.
I just sent you this podcast like, did you forget about something?
Did you forget about? No, but like, I mean, that goes for so many people. Everyone that I've worked with on this film, everyone that I've worked with, on every single production, I've made, because it's hard work, and you really get to see, who is really dedicated to this kind of stuff and who isn't, right?
So before we end, what other projects are you guys coming up with?
Well, we have a few short films that we're going to start doing, but really, this is kind of our last. This is our finale.
You're not going to make any more.
We won't make any more feature films.
And why is that?
It more of just timing. We're about to graduate, and it takes about a year.
He's quitting filmmaking.
I'm quitting. This is the end. No, but
you do have other stuff down the pipeline.
I do. We'll have a lot more short films. We're probably gonna go on to the longer end of short films, so maybe 20-30 minutes. Yeah. and we have a lot in the works right now, but I think we want to expand our genre because we've made short. Oh yes, we also have a show in production, but we've expanded to the point, or we've done feature films, right? And it's not about like we love them and they're great, but they're a lot, right? And when you're doing one, it limits all the other things that are out there for you, right? Because you spend so much time on it, right? So we want to go ahead and expand our horizons, go into other, fields, maybe do some like more short films, some longer short films, a show, that would be awesome.
Who knows? Maybe Jan first.
But and who knows? I change like that, and as soon as I get excited about an idea, I just don't stop. But so there very possibly could be something.
Which is how this pod. So I remember it was what, June, we had this idea. We were sitting at a thing at a dinner at early June, and we had this idea, and then we like worked on it a bit. But then we met like 2-3 weeks ago. We had like a solid conversation, and after that it was like everybody was so hyped it was over. Like there was no stopping it.
That's true.
But I think it's a good way to end the show. That follow your dreams.
Yes.
That's the simple truth.
And
working title.
And come see A Simple Truth at
Avalon, December 8th.
I just messed that up. Hold on, let me do that. All right, sorry. And come see A Simple Truth on December 8th at Avalon at 2 p.m. You can get tickets at redwaveprod.com.
How much are tickets?
Tickets are $5.
So seeing a high school premiere, movie premiere at Avalon for $5, kind of a cool thing.
Yes, and you can say forever that you went to a movie premiere at Avalon in high school.
And all the stars will be there. You'll meet all.
That is true.
The stars.
All the cast, the crew, everyone. It's gonna be a really awesome event.
It's super fun.
It's gonna be a big day.
Yeah, and it's only $5.
$5. I mean,
$5.
That's kind of a lot, dude. That's like when I go to the dollar store, bro. I like bank out on $5. But
I can't. I don't think I can make it.
Oh,
with that.
is it too?
With
you
that
guys
kind of price.
You guys have like discounts, like family friend discounts, or just like.
I mean.
Yeah, family friends pay extra.
Pay extra.
Yeah. I don't know who he is. First time I've met the guy, I don't even. Not a family nor a friend.
I mean, if you're a star in the movie, we'll give you half price.
Yes.
No. We'll only charge you $2.50.
$2.50 saved was good.
No, obviously all of our cast and crew get in for free, but you'll get to meet all of them. They're great people. You'll get to see me and talk to me and see our amazing film.
Can I get an autograph?
You can get an autograph, Kat.
Oh,
just for you. Just for you.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
This is awesome.